sure everything is working here. We're good. Cool. Alright, let's exit out of that. Let's get this thing started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Gamer Show with your host, Harrison Putnam. It is I. That is me, Harrison. Hopefully, everyone has had a great week. I have certainly had a good week. So yeah, I've been mostly playing. Mostly been playing some. I guess it would help if I had the mic a little bit closer to me. Mostly been playing some Xenoblade Chronicles 3 throughout the week. My parents took our kids to the beach this week, so we have been kid free for a few days now. It's been nice to be kid free, of course, for those of you who have kids. Obviously, not having to be a parent essentially for a few days is always nice. You can go out and do things. We've been doing a lot of cleaning. My wife did some painting today on our stairs to, just stuff that it's a little bit more difficult to do when you have kids around, running around, being crazy. So that's always nice. But so yeah, I've been enjoying myself. I've been playing a bunch of games. Well, not really a bunch of games. I put a lot of time into Xenoblade, and I've been playing a lot of Hearthstone. For those who, I think most people have heard of this game by now. It's the Blizzard card game based off of World of Warcraft, but it is, they just released a new expansion. I've been kind of playing a lot more, which I took about a 2-year break at one point, and kind of came back and been playing some games, and it's a lot of fun. I've got a deck now that's kind of OP in my opinion. I haven't lost a ton with it, so that's of course always fun, when you're winning. So, but yeah, guys, again, this is the Gamer Show, the show where I record every Thursday night. I've been live streaming the last few episodes, so if you guys are listening to the VOD version, I guess, on, I don't know what I'm doing with my hands here, but on YouTube, good morning. I always air these things usually about 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so to kind of give you that morning show vibe. So, I've got, of course, the staple of the show now, the mango, Bacardi mango with the Coke Zero. But yeah, if it's the morning time, you got your soda, you got your coffee, you got your orange juice, whatever it is. Good morning and happy Friday to you guys, because it'll be Friday tomorrow. But we got a bunch of stuff. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about this week, guys. Again, if you guys like this this show, please give it a like, comment below. All that fun YouTube stuff. It would be much appreciated. My goal is to get to 100 viewers. I can't talk today. I had Texas Roadhouse earlier and ate a nice steak, so I'm pretty full. 100 subscribers by the end of the year. I know that's not a ton. I'm at 71 right now, so it's definitely doable. So if you guys could consider subscribing, that would be really awesome over on YouTube. And I'm streaming over on Twitch too. Hello, Twitch. So that would be super helpful as well. But much appreciated. All right, guys. But yeah, that's done with Hearthstone. Been playing. I'm about almost 8 hours into Xenoblade, which I know is not a ton, but I'm starting to get past most of the tutorials. Wow. I didn't get the game initially when it launched, just because I played a little bit of the first one and it didn't quite grab me in the way that I wanted to. But this game has been truly amazing. The pacing for the tutorials has been excellent. There's a lot of systems involved in this game. I just unlocked a bunch of new today. I think there's, like, right now my party members is 6. So, and everyone's got their own different classes. It's kind of like that Final Fantasy style where you can kind of swap classes in and out and level up those classes. So I'm kind of starting to dive into there. The story is super interesting. It's really engaging. I've liked it so far. I don't want to spoil anything, but just all the systems and how they work together and the way they kind of lay those out to you. It's not overwhelming at all. Story wise, you don't really need to play Xeno 1 and 2, although I'm sure it helps to have that knowledge of those previous games. But yeah, so far it's been such a fun experience. It's been a great RPG to go through. I'm sure there's probably some more systems that are going to be unlocked eventually. But so far, it's been quite a game. Monolith Studios has crushed it. My brother, my co-host, that our podcast Game with the Broadcast. If you want to check that out, please do. But he kind of convinced me to get it because at first I was not going to get it, just because I haven't played a ton of new games this year. Obviously that's going to change in the latter half when there's a bunch of stuff coming out. But yeah, I haven't played a ton of new stuff, and obviously a game like this, an RPG, an open world RPG, it's kind of intimidating. So to drop to $60, but I think not having the kids here, because my son usually controls our living room at all times. So for me, and this is my gaming setup. I got my gaming chair, but that feeling when you're just on the couch chilling, vibing out and playing some games like that. That is so much fun to me. I love doing that. So I've got that feeling this week, and I think that's what's kind of helped me push push me to play the game even more. So yeah, great game so far. Loving it. Gonna continue to play it on. It's a perfect month to do so. There's not a ton of games that are coming out this month, which is great. For this style of game, of course. All right, so moving on. Let's it's kind of the staple of the show as well, where we're gonna be watching a trailer or some gameplay. I chose this week Gotham Knights. We're currently on IGN first for Gotham Knights. It's the 4-player co-op game that's coming out. It's set in the Arkham universe, I believe. Actually, I don't know if it's in the Arkham universe or not. I'm not quite sure. I don't think it is, actually. That's the Suicide Squad game. But it looks super cool. The gameplay trailer that we saw a couple of weeks ago was convincing. I like it. I like the Arkham style of gameplay. And this looks pretty cool as well. So we're gonna jump into that real quick. Watch it. It's about 8 or 9 minutes. I'll skip through if it's a little boring, but let's go ahead and do that. Get this up here.
In the 1650s, 5 families left Europe, eventually landing on the rain-swept islands that pepper the mouth of what would one day be called Gotham River. Those families, the Waynes, the Cobblepots, the Elliots, the Arkhams, and the Kanes, would build a colonial fort together and sow the seeds of centuries of dominance in the area. Gotham City was born. The city quickly spread beyond its original bounds, developing 5 boroughs, one of those 5 founding architecture. The Arkhams, by neon light gameplay, to the game's biggest mystery, the harbour, now known as Historic Gotham, tying the family to their new country's military might, building ships and weapons of war. By the 1850s, Gotham had become a major trade hub, helped along by the industrialist Cobblepots and their smoke-belching Southside steel mills. Gotham continued to transform over time. In the 1920s, the Elliots took hold of the 20th century's newest means of control, mass media, and built downtown Gotham in a new Art Deco image. By the 1960s, Gotham had truly become a patchwork of industry and architecture. The Arkhams settled in North Gotham, building their famous asylum. Yes, it's in the game, and no, it's not as you've previously seen it. The Waynes, meanwhile, built their billions in New Gotham, helping advance the town into a new, technological age. Which brings us to the present day, and the Gotham you'll be exploring as Batman's protégés in Gotham Knights. An open world as soaked in history as it is by neon light and vigilante-friendly shadow. Warner Bros. Games Montreal created that history early in production, a whole new timeline for a whole new version of Gotham City. And it isn't merely window dressing. The timeline informs everything from the plot, to the gameplay, to the game's biggest mystery, the Court of Owls conspiracy. The team didn't just build an open world to play in, it's truly trying to build a city.
See, like, I'm intrigued, man. I like...
Whenever I got anxious, I
like
would
that
hit
it's
my
fucking-
vape.
I thought vaping gave me peace of mind, but it really didn't.
It was a fake form of confidence. I was nervous all the time.
Vaping made my anxiety worse.
Key to this take on Gotham are those 5 boroughs and the worldview of the families that historically controlled them.
So for us, the 5 boroughs, it started with the families. The families moved there, they built imposing structures within those districts. So then we build around that to where the identity for those districts really is based off of that family.
Within those boroughs, the team tries to tell stories without simply having someone speak them out loud.
If you visit a city in real life, it's hard to tell some of that history. So because we're making a game, really what we want to do is kind of obviously reveal some of that stuff. So there's a lot of areas that are kind of stuck in time, like even something as, kind of generic as construction, like it becomes interesting when it's halted construction or it's now abandoned and overgrown or it's ruins, all those things are more interesting for the player than just a modern city. So we tried to have a lot of those areas where it's almost stuck in time so the player can really experience what it was back then a little bit too and see how the city evolved.
The team has historical and gameplay basis for every new environment. Take the Cauldron, built into the Cobblepot's lower Gotham area.
We always would like to tell a story with every borough, and there's one specific one that is not necessarily related to the family, but is an effect of some of the projects that those families undertook, which was a mining operation that happened in a riverbed. So they decided to wall off 2 sides of a portion in the water and they dredged it for mining operations. It would attract workers for the mining operation. It was low-cost housing. It remained like actually a slum.
The Cauldron's history is written into its walls, with tumble-down buildings and cramped, unplanned streets, all set in the shadow of the more prosperous districts around it. But all of this is a distinct gameplay choice too.
This spot is kind of like a transition area between the financial district and the south side. So we have like 2 very different themes while being in a 3rd theme that is very organic, has a complete different way for the player to navigate over. It's a lot more parkouring. So the player always has the choice to pick the best tool and the best navigation verb to be as efficient as possible. And with different neighborhoods that will give you different experiences.
This interplay of history and gameplay can be seen across the city. The once beautiful Robinson Park is a symbol of the city's decay, but it's also an open space where your usual stealth tactics may no longer work in the same way. The enormous Elliott Center is a literally gilded reminder of the family patriarch, complete with a museum exhibit about the family inside. And it's also a complex, multi-layered bit of vertical level design built to house the Mr. Freeze boss battle later in the game. And it's not just that timeline that acts as history here either. While this is a new take on Gotham, it includes many references to the comic books it's drawing from. Of course, there are buildings you'll know, right down to deep-cut references like Noonan's sleazy bar from Garth Ennis's Hitman series, but the very fabric of Gotham itself acts as an Easter egg in places. Perhaps most interesting is that this Gotham has a public history and a secret history. We already know the game will centre on the Court of Owls, a shadowy, manipulative group born of the founding families. Gotham itself will reflect that conspiratorial past too.
One of the things that we love about the Court of Owls, aside from the fact that it's a new, fresh addition to the Batman canon, is that they represent a threat that is so embedded and so intrinsic to Gotham City that even Batman doesn't know about it. And the notion of a threat that is so intimately tied to a city that he considers to be his city, that he knows like the back of his hand, that he's been patrolling for literally decades at this point. That's a very intimidating and scary idea. With that in mind, what we knew is that we needed to give you a sense of Gotham's history in order to be able to show all the ways in which the court is embedded in that. That feeling that Gotham is kind of an adversary and that Court of Owls is the embodiment of that. The perception is kind of
for every
events in history that would have
secrets might
rebuilding. So
Bandax
act with after
it's of the opening game in its current form. Perhaps the most interesting thing about Gotham Knights version is that we won't just see the city as it
Alright, we're gonna mute that there. Cool. All right. Let's get back to the exit that out. All right. So yeah, that's Gotham Knights. It looks super cool. I obviously, like I mentioned, I love the Arkham series. This kind of looks like more of that, which is, I think, is a good thing. It's been a while since we had Arkham Knight come out, so I think more of those games is cool. Let's move on to some of the news this week. We got I've already talked about this a little bit on my podcast, but Marvel Midnight Sun got delayed, not necessarily indefinitely. We don't have a release date, and I feel like a lot of companies are smartly not giving a release date when they delay their games, just because it's just crazy. It's crazy out there. So, yeah, that got delayed. It says it's coming by the end of the fiscal year, meaning March 31st of 2023. I don't know when this game, I mean, it looks like an interesting game. I don't think I'll have any interest in playing it, but it is a Marvel related game, so I'm assuming it's going to get some buzz and some attraction. But when does this game come out? I mean, it being August, it was supposed to come out. When was it supposed to come out? I think next month. Something like that. But so when did, I was looking at the 2023 games coming out that are currently have a date. Forspoken, January 24th. Dead Space, January 27th, and then we've got Resident Evil 4 coming out March 24th, and that's kind of what's got a date. And obviously, there's so many games that are scheduled to come out next year, that could come out in that era. We just don't know. Zelda obviously is kind of the big one, the Breath of the Wild sequel, that's supposedly coming out in spring. So, where does this game, are they kind of waiting to get, because I'm assuming we'll get some confirmed release dates for some of this stuff. They're hopefully we'll get a direct in September like we normally do. Of course, we usually got a June Direct, but we have not, or we did not, I should say. So Nintendo's just kind of doing their own thing. So hopefully we get a September Direct, and it kind of confirms some stuff early for next year, because I think that's what they got to do now, right? We've got dates for obviously Bayonetta. We kind of know what Nintendo's got going next year, or it's gonna be the rest of this year. There's still that rumored Metroid game that's supposed to come out this year, the Metroid 1, the first person remake, Metroid Prime. So that's still a possibility. I don't know if it is at this point, but maybe they would announce it in September, and then, I don't know, have it come out in maybe like November or something. That could be a possibility. But so, I don't know where this Midnight Sun game falls into. Obviously, a game can release on the same day as another game, but you gotta just look at what's coming out, what the buzz is, all that good stuff. So, next up, take a little sippy of my drinky. Dragon Ball FighterZ is getting at the Evo event this year. They announced Dragon Ball FighterZ is getting rolled back netcode, which is essentially kind of the best network for a fighting game. It's almost guarantees zero lag, which is fantastic. Now, this game came out in 2018, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. So they announced that there's no more characters coming. This is it. This is the complete package for the game. They're trying, now this is coming for PS5 and Series X. They're trying to get this to come out into the PS4 Pro and One X, I believe. And then they didn't announce anything for the Switch version, which, it makes sense, I guess. So, super cool. Dragon Ball FighterZ is probably my favorite fighting game of all time. It's such a fantastic game. I play it just about every single Saturday with one of my buddies, and it's truly incredible. It looks great. It still looks great to this day. 5 years ago, 4 years ago. Yeah, 2018. Yeah, almost 5 years ago. It's an amazing game. So glad to see that coming to improve that. I would love to see a new Dragon Ball Fighters. There's with that Bandai Namco hack, there was that kind of leaked image, in Dragon Ball Fighters, and it was coming next year, but it was labeled Super, which makes sense because I think Super is the new season of Super is supposed to come out next year, which is awesome. So there's still so many fighters characters in the game or in the show that are not on fighters, so they have those options. So I don't know if they do. I doubt they do like a massive expansion to the game. It's probably just a new game at this point, brand new, $60-$70, whatever you want to say. Not every game is like Mario Kart where it launched in 2017, and just got some expansion content this year, which is insane. But yeah, I would love to see a new Dragon Ball Fighters game. There's a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 showcase coming September 15th. I guess just probably going over the game. I think they're going to talk about Warzone 2. Is it officially called Warzone 2? I'm not quite sure. But they're going to go over the game. There's going to be a beta starting right after that presentation. Maybe not right after, but in the coming days. And it's going to be a PlayStation exclusive. And then it's going to come out to all consoles after that. PC, Xbox, and it's also going to be crossplay, which is awesome. I didn't play the newer Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I heard it was really good campaign-wise, and the multiplayer was cool, but I heard the maps were pretty mediocre. I have to sneeze. Excuse me. So I think what would be awesome, and if they did Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, they brought all the Modern Warfare 2 maps to this game. I think that's what would get me to actually play this game, because Modern Warfare 2 had some of the best maps in the franchise. It was so good. All those maps were amazing. So I would love to see them come to this game. I think that's what would bring me in. Next up, Dragon Ball is coming to Fortnite. It's been kind of rumored here in the last couple of weeks, obviously with the Dragon Ball Super movie coming out next week. That's cool. It's going to tie into that. I'm assuming there's not much details. There was a picture on Twitter that says "Speak, name your wish." It's got the Shinron in the photo, so I don't know. I'm sure like that would be pretty cool. I would check that out in Fortnite. Shinron in there. That's pretty awesome. It doesn't. I'm assuming it doesn't specifically say in the kind of the headline, but I'm assuming skins. That might get me to play Fortnite again. I played like a month ago, and it was okay, but yeah. I mean that's Dragon Ball is awesome. You could collect the Dragon Balls in the game, like, yeah, it could be really cool. So I will probably check that out when it comes to Fortnite here next week on the 16th. Next up, Kirby's Dream Buffet launches on October 17th. So that's coming out next Friday. So that is pretty cool. It's kind of next Wednesday. That is kind of like Nintendo's answer to Fall Guys, but even though Fall Guys just came to the Switch, so that's that's pretty cool. It looks interesting. It is not free to play though. I believe it is $15, $14.99, respectively. So I don't know if I'll pick this up. To be honest, I've played a little bit of Fall Guys. I want to play some more. I may even try to stream some games here. Probably next week. I'm gonna start streaming some games to get back into that habit. But so yeah, I mean, it looks cool. Again, I don't know if I'm going to pick it up and play it. Obviously, it's completely different than the Kirby, the Kirby game that came out this year. But yeah, I mean, I'll certainly hopefully they have like a demo or something for people to try. But I'll see what I'll check it out. Let's see here. So what kind of blew Twitter up the other day, yesterday I think, is on Game Pass it showed Elden Ring available for a few moments, which is insane to think about because Elden Ring is obviously one of the biggest games of this year. I don't think any FromSoft games have been on Game Pass as of yet, but they've since said that it was just a bug. But I don't know, it's weird, that's a weird bug to show up on the Game Pass service, I don't know. Maybe it actually is coming, and I think it is. That could be kind of insane. So again, it's just a very weird bug to appear on the service. But I've obviously purchased the game. I've played it. It's right now. Although I'm still playing Xenoblade, I would say Elden Ring is probably my game of the year so far. There's still some games to come out. Still got Pokemon, Bayonetta, obviously. But it's going to be tough for those to beat Elden Ring. I think Elden Ring is a masterpiece in its own right. I think it's one of From's best works. It's just an incredible experience through and through. And I genuinely miss it. I feel like I say that every week, but here I am saying it again. So yeah, I think that would be awesome to come to Game Pass. Game Pass is kind of, I think when they started Game Pass, maybe they had their ideas of, hey, we don't have a lot of games coming, we need to build our repertoire. So they did it when that launched a few years ago, and ever since then, I mean, they've had a lot of really solid games coming. And if this is coming, that's awesome for those who have not played it yet. It's truly a fantastic game. Let's see, I'm gonna get another drink because my voice is dying right now. Absolutely dying. Next up, we got Gamescom news. Still happening 2022. In person returns in person. There's over 500 companies that's going to be attending. Microsoft has already announced they'll be there, which they said that there will not be anything new shown off. But opening night live starts 2 p.m. Eastern time on August 23rd. That is a Tuesday. So pretty awesome. I will be checking that out. I will probably not be live streaming because I'll be most likely working. So that's hosted by Jeff Keighley. So I don't know what will happen, what will be shown off. Obviously this Gamescom has kind of become like the new E3 in its own right. So there's tons of people going to be there, tons of companies. Hopefully we get some really cool announcements. I thought the Summer Game Fest was kind of lackluster this year. Not a ton of things shown off that was new necessarily. And that's kind of where we've been at. I want to see new stuff. Like Xbox, I liked Xbox Showcase. I thought they had the best out of all the companies. But again, there wasn't a ton of new stuff shown. And that's what I want to see new stuff. Looking forward to. Excuse me. So I'm excited for that. I always love watching the live streams and the showcases and all that good stuff. So always fun to check out. Let me go ahead and close this out. And then last but certainly not least, we had the Splatoon 3 Direct. It was almost 30 minutes of Splatoon 3 goodness. The game is coming out next month. There's going to be a Splatfest world premiere demo, essentially, that's going to come out on August 27th. And so that's awesome that we get kind of a demo to show out the game. But we got a lot of details on just about every aspect of the game. So we got some more news on kind of Salmon Run. We got like a short little video of that. Obviously Turf War is the main bread and butter of the game, but there's also some modes there. I don't think there was any new modes announced, which is kind of that kind of sucks. I would like to see like a new mode. The campaign looks very samey to the first two, which is kind of a bummer. I really want them to expand upon that. I really wish it was something different, and maybe we'll get like a closer look at the campaign. It's doubtful since the game comes out. Oh gosh, when Splatoon 3 release date? September 9th, so it comes out in less than a month. So that's obviously that's awesome. But I don't know. We'll probably get some overview trailers or something like that over on Nintendo's YouTube channel as they've been doing. So yeah, that's kind of a bummer. That's the main thing I wanted to see improved was the campaign, because the first two were so similar, and I don't know if I want to necessarily have that same style again. But anyways, they let's go back here. Let's see. So there's obviously there's some new and returning battle stages. There's 12 total at launch, and there's gonna be more added in free updates. They also said there's gonna be some paid DLC as well, like the Octo expansion. So they'll probably have multiple things like that, which is really cool. I don't mind paid DLC at all. I thought Splatoon 1 and 2, like the post-launch stuff, obviously those games were light in content at launch, so it is what it is for that, but they really supported those games for the couple years after they released, so pretty cool. Obviously the Splatfests are back for before, and then there's also like a third color as well, the tricolor turf war battles, where 3 teams fight at the same time. So that is super interesting. That is very, very cool. I like that. I like that a lot. I think it's 4v2v2, which I think 4 is like the color that is winning in like the Splatfest, and then the other 2 are the ones that are fighting. So that is super cool to have that. They showed off like, there's gonna be amiibo support, obviously. They showed all like the customization you can do in the game. They showed some new weapons, like the stringer, which is kind of like a bow and arrow. And obviously there's some new amiibos coming out to that as well. They showed off some new special weapons and all that stuff. So it looks really cool. It's still more Splatoon. So if you love Splatoon, you're gonna get that. Obviously, my biggest gripe with the game was, I want to see different campaign stuff, which it looks like it's gonna be kind of the same. So I mean that's kind of sucks, but I think Splatoon 3 is gonna be an absolute day one purchase for me. I bought a Wii U because of Splatoon. I absolutely love that game. Splatoon 2. I've put hundreds of hours into that. It's such a fantastic game. It's such a unique game that really no other game since has done anything quite like it. Where you have to cover the map and paint, and that's how you win. So that it's such a unique experience that you can't really get anywhere else. They did say this is the kind of the final chapter of Splatoon, which is interesting. But yeah, it looks good. It looks really good. Again, we'll probably get some more like overview trailers here in the coming weeks to show off other aspects of the game. But I like what I saw. I was a little nervous, not nervous, but concerned about how different it was going to be, and it looks different enough that to justify a third one. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait for it. So yeah. But guys, I think that's gonna wrap up the show this week. So yeah, if you made it this far into the video, please like it. Please comment if you can. If all the topics we talked about, if what your opinions are on all the news, Splatoon 3, are you gonna get it? Are you not? And honest feedback. Like I love to. I want to hear feedback from you guys on stuff that I can improve. If there's other segments that you would like to incorporate into the show, I would love to hear it. I'm open to all kinds of feedback, whether it's good or bad. And of course, just subscribe to the channel if you can. Again, my goal is to hit 100 by the end of the year. I definitely think it is doable. So I will definitely appreciate that. But I will see you guys next Thursday live. Or if you catch the video, I will see you guys Friday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to hear more, because I'll be talking about this more on my gaming podcast, Gaming with the Broscast with my brother. We air that on Mondays at 8:30 EST. So I will see you guys there. Have a good rest of your day and enjoy your weekend.